in that theory, that mandate means that I can go up to 20% in crypto. Right now, I'm just over 10, about 10.7. But I've also made equity bets. For example, I have an investment in WonderFi, a Canadian company that is democratizing DeFi. So they're launching their product in January. They've been working on it for over 2 years. One of the biggest challenges for the individual, like my daughter or my son, who want to do staking and remain compliant with tax authorities, depending on what jurisdiction they're in, is it's very complicated to actually do it. If you have $14,000 in your bank account and you decide that you'd like to stake some of it, WonderFi is working very hard to make that very easy to do. And that's one of my investments, because I think cryptocurrencies are not just for the crypto elite. There's a huge demand within the population to solve for the fact that interest rates are so low. So just on staking alone, that's a huge opportunity. Number two, I became an investor in Immutable Holdings, which is Jordan Fried's company. Why? Because specifically he owns the domain NFT.com. Now, normally I would not put a lot of weight. Yes, I have a position in Bitcoin. It is not my largest. It is close. It's up in the top quartile, though. Ethereum is larger than Bitcoin right now for me. I am a huge advocate for Bitcoin. I treat it as an asset, no different than a AAA office tower in Boston. It's an asset. I don't consider it a currency. Now, everybody has their own opinion. My opinion is it's an asset. So I hold it. I don't trade it. I do stake it. But the point is, I'm not selling my Bitcoin. The challenge I have with Bitcoin, and the whole industry has this challenge, is we've got to deal with these ESG issues. There's a lot of criticism around Bitcoin because of the amount of energy it takes to get a coin awarded. And in that area, I'm working very hard. There's lots of initiatives to create Bitcoin. And I'm not saying we're bifurcating the Bitcoin market, that one coin is different than the other. But if I'm a sovereign institution, and I work with lots of sovereign institutions because I'm in the indexing business, they would like to fund Bitcoin mining where they keep their own awarded coins, knowing with 100% certainty that they mine them in an ethical and efficient, sustainable manner. And that is where a lot of the new capital is going. And whether that be wind or solar or nuclear or whatever, all of those projects are happening globally, and they're being funded by sovereign wealth, because sovereign wealth has ESG and sustainability committees on top of their asset decision making. So the next generation of coins awarded are probably going to be held in perpetuity on balance sheets of companies that are funded to make them sustainable. And, that's one way to solve that problem. At the end of the day, I would argue that Bitcoin mining is at the forefront of efficient energy use. It really is. It's just that the rest of the investing world doesn't take that view. And there's been a lot of criticism of what happened in China initially by burning hydrocarbons to create electricity to make coin. And you've seen all of the controversy in the last year. Now, at the Bitcoin 2022 conference, I think there'll be a lot of good news in this area. That's going to happen in February, as you're well aware. But it will definitely be the topic of discussion yet again. But since then, hundreds of millions of dollars have been earmarked and, in fact, put into the ground into projects that are going to be more sustainable in wind, solar, and nuclear, as I mentioned, in different geographies. West Texas is a big focus right now, obviously, but there's other geographies that are also looking at it. So that's the next big thing for Bitcoin. But why wouldn't I want to own that for the long term? I mean, I just think the long-term prognosis for that is to own it beside gold as a hedge against inflation. No, but it doesn't say that I don't like Bitcoin. What's happening, though, a lot of the innovation that's occurring within the software engineering, you got to remember something. The hottest hands, the best developers in the world have moved over to crypto. You want to find the smartest engineers in software development, you're going to find them in crypto. So again, I go back to Polygon. Polygon's working with Ethereum. They're working with it to make it more efficient. And so, I look at my Polygon investment as a quasi-Ethereum investment, because what they're doing is aggregating transactions. They're making Ethereum more efficient. Many people in financial services are concerned that Ethereum's too slow. And that's why they're looking at Solana, for example. And so, you have to make multiple bets. You can't bet on just one horse in crypto. You've got to go with the hottest teams with new innovation, new ideas, which is what I do. And I say I'm so fortunate because, I have direct access to these individuals, and that's probably a little bit to do with the work I do in the media, but it doesn't matter. What matters to me is what can I do as an investor? How can I support their initiatives? And I believe there's a direct correlation between social media, the media, and market capitalization. My ability to help a company tell a story really matters. So if I can get millions of followers as I have and explain to them why I'm doing what I do and why I support these different teams, I think it's of everybody's benefit. That's good. Companies have ideas. Engineers have ideas. They have innovations. People should understand what they are. I recently took a position in helium. I'm intrigued by the idea of providing, low-cost Wi-Fi on a global basis, to democratize it, to make it less expensive in all kinds of geographies. I like that idea. It's a great initiative. Why not own it? And let the managers and the miners around the world do what they're going to do. But there's an economic reason to own that. It's driven. I always believe the best ideas are driven by economic momentum. Some problem you're solving, some efficiency you're creating, some productivity you're providing, that gives you the long view. And so, I'm a little bit more focused on enhancing productivity and economic value than, let's say, meme coins. That I have less of those in my portfolio. Although I do support Ethereum because I'm involved in cat DNA research. I own some Ethereum. I think the fact that they give back to animal shelters is good. But that's just one of the meme coins that I'm involved in because there's a reason to do it. People know that I'm an investor in BasePaws. They're probably the most advanced DNA company for cat health. It's been a very successful company, and there's tying together the crypto world with the real world of DNA testing and sequencing. I mark to market that position instantaneously. My compliance people can see it instantaneously. At the end of the day, when market closes, they can see exactly what percentage it is of the overall portfolio. If the mandate allows between 3 and 5% weighting, they'll know. They'll know immediately if there's leverage on the position. Everything is built into that compliance infrastructure and has been for decades. Every institution works under the same mandates. We have nothing like that in crypto. We have archaic methodology where we use spreadsheets to calculate percentages, and we're constantly going back to look at the transaction in the chain. And the auditors are freaking out because they can't see it and they can't mark to market. And this is a big problem. It's a really big problem. So when you tell me, well, do you think institutions are going to buy Bitcoin or any other? The truth is they are not even present yet in the crypto markets. And the reason they're not because they don't want to be, because they have no way to do it on a compliant basis. So, the most advanced companies in providing compliance platforms and infrastructure, in my view, it's a personal opinion, are FTX and Circle. And so I was able, after 6 months negotiating with my own compliance department and my external auditors, to open an account with Circle and start to stake USDC.